Okay, thanks for tuning in for a live unboxing on the Essential RC YouTube channel of the new AVIOS Spitfire MkVb. We got this yesterday, only came into stock I think a couple of days ago, but was sent out straight away by HobbyKing, so thanks to them for that. I've been waiting for this for quite a long time now. I know HobbyKing have this habit of revealing when models go into production, and that certainly gets us all excited about when these models are going to come out. So it may seem we've been waiting a long time for this, the big Spitfire, but it's finally arrived. Certainly looks good on the box. So I printed out the instruction manual. There's only actually 2 pages of assembly instructions in this, so it's going to go together super easy, I think. What else is in the instruction manual? About setting it up, obviously. They give plenty of guidance on that. Your center of gravity as well, with the different size packs. So with a 3300 6S pack, you have to put that right up towards the nose. Heavier packs slightly further back. For the CG being 80 to 95 millimeters, pre-flight checks, all that type of stuff. Flying tips, and then actually what is fantastic is the decals. Is it decals or decals? Decals, I'll go with decals. They have a few pages showing placement of the decals on the model as well, which is great as well, because I can never get that right unless I've got specific guidance. So specifically the features of this and the specs. Let's talk about the specs first. So this is a 1.45 meter wingspan model, flying weight 2,640 grams or slightly more than that. It's made of EPO foam. So as with all of these models that Avios and Durafly and HobbyKing bring out, in the majority, they're all EPO foam, so they're resilient to any knocks that you might give it and easily repairable. Needs 6 channels on your radio. Features super scale details like panel lines, exhaust cannons, scale split flaps with turn indicators, designed in collaboration with Tom Hunt. Don't know the name. Actually, I'm presuming he's might be a pilot of an existing Spitfire. I'll have to do some research on that. Navigational lights on the tail or wings. Pre-installed electronics, canopy and cockpit door opens to reveal interior details as well. Bolt together plane for easy storage and transport. Removable armoured glass for FPV camera. That's quite a cool one, because if you put an FPV camera in the plane, in my experience, any type of camera in the cockpit is, when you're seeing through the glass, the perspex or the transparent plastic, then it obscures the view and it screws it up. So it's nice that you're going to be able to take that out. Hidden control surfaces for a totally realistic look. So most models come with all the linkages exposed on the outside of the model, so you can see them. So hidden on this model, which is really good. Large battery tray made of composite material, so it's going to be strong, I assume. Ball link controls for precision flying. Fantastic. Okay. So no more messing around, that's enough talking. This might take me a little while, but we're going to unbox it. So I'm going to have to tilt down my view on the webcam a little bit, like that. I hope that's okay. My preview window here is a little bit behind, but I will adjust it if I need to. I'm doing this on the floor because this, obviously this model is so big, you know, big boxes. You might want to do it on the dining room table. So, you know what I do think's quite interesting? There must be one guy at HobbyKing whose sole job is to plan out how to fit models into boxes to minimise the amount of empty space in the packaging, because obviously they want to ship as many of these as they can in a container. But I bet there's a clever guy in the company at AVIOS who figures out how to do that, respect to that guy, because they normally are packed very well, and you'd never be able to get all the components back in the box. Right, okay, bear with me. So looks like we've got some decals on top, decals I should say. I get corrected there for that. So lots of nice packaging material to make sure we don't damage it. So the first thing on top is a wing. So there we go. I'm going to show this up close. I hope you can see that. Looks good. Servos already in place, so the electronics are already in place. We're going to just have to, looks like you can see the roots in the foam for the push rods to the horns, the ball links, but the rod is actually hidden inside the wing, and there's going to be something to put on top of that to hide it away. Landing gear, sprung oleos, so anybody concerned about their typically rough landings like mine, that's going to absorb the shock with nice covers as well. And we've got our connections for flap gear, aileron, and I would assume that's the lights in the wingtip, of which that is there. Now, I'm not paying attention to questions. If there are any questions at the moment, I'll do that. I'll have a scan of that in a while, but I'm just unpacking a few things first. And excuse me if this takes me a while, but you've got to do it carefully. So there's another wing. Here's an interesting thing. So you can see there that the flap servo will control to the push the split flap. Split flaps are amazing. I know on my other Spitfires from HobbyKing, they fly so slow, but you can see you've got that little door at the top, I presume, so that the ball link can get the throw, can get the movement to push down on the flap. That's an interesting design feature, well thought out. We'll get into I'll leave the fuselage till last. So horizontal stabilizer with elevator. It's like we've got a carbon joiner, and that's joined here. Spitfires always seem to have quite small horizontal stabilizers compared to the size of the model, but well, they do when I've seen the full size, but there are some models out there that cheat by having larger horizontal stabilizers, I think. But what HobbyKing are saying is that this is probably the most scale Spitfire that you can get on the market at the moment in its size. So I would understand it being that small. You'll notice as well that in the top right I'm playing the latest video from HobbyKing of this Spitfire and all the pictures that I could find as well right now. So this is there's a few other little bits in here, but I think that's mostly it. So okay, interesting. We've got the fuselage. This could take a little while. So we've got the motor pre-installed. We're going to have to install the spinner and the nice scale 3-blade prop. Underneath you can see we've got the 2 servos in place for the elevator and the rudder, I would assume. We've got slots in the side for the exhaust stacks, very important on a Spitfire, so that we can replicate what the Merlin engine looked like in the Spitfire. Okay, I think one of the most interesting things about this model is the, and I'm not going to push this, so I don't want to break anything before I've even put it together, but I'm not sure if that's on a servo or not, actually. But I'm not going to... The canopy obviously opens, but there's you're not going to be able to see this, but I can see there's a nice instrument panel inside with dials on it, and I think that's the compass at the front. I mean, these guys, when they were flying these Spitfires, and they were using a compass at the front. Take off the cover. 6S 3300 or 6S 3000 to 4000 pack is recommended. I'm curious as to whether a 5000 pack will fit in. I don't have any small 6S packs, but I've got several 6S 5000 packs, so I would prefer to fly it with that. Let's see if I can move it to the back, whether I'll be able to get the centre of gravity that I need. With all my connections for elevator and throttle and lights and rudder in there as well, so I can slot in my receiver easily. What there is as well, there's an FPV mount with pan and tilt. Now they show a little clip of this in their video, and I think that would be super interesting to fly this FPV with pan and tilt, you know, with head tracking. If you're wearing a pair of Fat Sharks goggles, FPV goggles, then you could actually, you know, move your head and the camera move inside the cockpit so that you can look across the wing as you strafe across the runway. Might have to try that, but I'm going to learn how to fly the model first, I think, before I do something as adventurous as that. Moving towards the back, so we've got more lights. Got a light just behind the canopy. And at the back we've got the steerable tail wheel connected to the rudder servo. Obviously we've got more light connections at the back as well. So there are, considering the size of the model and its complexity, not a lot of bits, I have to say. We've probably got the, what have we got here? Where's my knife gone? Down here. Always these little bits tucked away. Oh, it's the rudder. The rudder, and the rudder has an electrical connection because it's got a light in the back of it. Okay. Right, so that's all the bits and pieces. Adam says, I need this in my life. Please do your homework. Doors on the wings are flap indicator doors as per the full size. That compass is the gun sight. All right, Rich, thanks for correcting me. Don't pretend to know everything. Don't pretend to be an expert. I learn along the way. It's not a case of doing homework, buddy. It's a case of, you know, learning these things as you get one of these models that has the features. Oh, that's so the pilot can see the flaps are down. Aha, right. Okay, didn't know that. Well, thanks for that, Adam. Appreciate that feedback. Or maybe that's not for me, maybe that's for Rich. I'm hoping that's for Rich. Looks nice. Do fast. What size battery? I think I've answered that. It's 6S 3000 to 4000. Looks like a very wide wing chord. I'm not sure about that. I think what's maybe you're seeing that. But if I show you from that end, maybe that gives a better sense of how thick the wing is. Looks good to me. And then the decals to put on. Oh, and these are quite thick, and they've got specific instructions in the manual for how to apply these, because they have a paper backing and a clear front film as well, so you need to remember to remove both. And I have actually had a Spitfire in the past from HobbyKing where I forgot to remove the clear film on the front, and somebody pointed that out to me rather embarrassingly after I'd done the review. But again, Rich, I'm learning as I go along. I don't pretend to be an expert, but it wouldn't be fun if you knew everything, would it? Okay, so there we go. So I'm intending to put this together this weekend, luckily, all by luck, fate, I've got next week off because I've got to use up some holiday before the end of the year, so I'm going to have a lot of fun putting this together over the weekend. Should have it flying early next week and have a video up very soon after. I suspect we'll do 2 or 3 videos of this. I'm not going to pretend that I'm going to be able to fly it first time low across, you know, and know how to fly it properly on the very first or second flight. So it might take a little while, 2 or 3 videos, to really get the most out of it. Okay, so let's just check the chat. I just don't want to, if anybody specifically wants to see something before I end the chat, let's just check. Ziggy says, I'm not an expert, but when I was younger, I called a Spitfire a Hurricane. Yeah, I probably would have done the same thing. Creel FPV says he's ordered one already. He's so excited. Adam says, nice one, Xenios. Can we see the belly of the fuselage? Yeah, no problem. Who asked me that? Northeast FPV. Belly. So underneath. There you go. Hope that helps. So obviously there's an exit for the air coming through the fuselage, I would suspect, at the back. Any other questions? Rich wants a good shot of the battery bay. Well, okay, so there you go. It's big, I have to say. So if I put my hand there, just to show how big it is, definitely a 6S 5000 pack's going to fit in. But question is, will I be able to get the CG? I'm really hoping I can. There's always the option, with this being a 6S model, that you might want to serial together a couple of 3S packs, or maybe even a 4S and a 2S pack. Can you do that? I think you can if they're the same capacities. I'm pretty sure you can do that because I've done that in the past. You can see the speed controller, 60 amp speed controller, Aerostar 60 amp with a 90 XT90 connector, and that's underneath. Going to get a lot of airflow. There's a big gap around the motor, so you're going to get the airflow through, so that motor's not going to get very hot. Okay, I think that's it. So I wanted to just give you a very quick look at this new AVIOS Spitfire MkVb from HobbyKing. Going to put this together very, very soon, and then we'll have it in the air early next week, and certainly have 2 or 3 videos up over the next couple of weeks of it scorching around my local patch, and should be good. Okay, so thanks for watching this one. See you next time.